old Celtic players right now, but Superboy did it. Wow.
They were beaten at the buzzer on their home floor on a three-pointer by Toronto's Vince Carter. The Celtics are 12 games under 500 this season, 4.5 games out of the final playoff spot in the East. After that loss, Coach Rick Pitino had a passionate response when asked by a reporter how he would keep his players positive.
Larry Bird's not walking through that door, fans. Kevin McHale's not walking through that door, and Robert Parrish is not walking through that door. And if you expect them to walk through the door, they're going to be gray and old. What we are is young, exciting, hardworking, and going to improve. People don't realize that. And as soon as they realize that those three guys are not coming through that door, the better this town will be for all of us. Because they're young guys in that room playing their off. I wish we had $90 million under the salary cap. Wish we could buy the world. We can't.
Just hours after Rick Pitino made his first Boston appearance as the new Celtics coach this afternoon at the Fleet Center. So Rick is in and Larry is out.
The Rick Pitino era officially begins. Pitino announced today, introduced as the Celtics' new head coach and president. Make no mistake about it, the Celtics are Pitino's team. He runs the whole show. Fans are hoping this is the start of great things.
You know, it could have been even more impressive than it was. They could have wheeled him in the Pope-mobile. But short of that, it was a grand affair for Rick Pitino. 2 tiers of cameras to record the event. The parquet floor below him, the banners behind him, and the challenge of a lifetime ahead of him.
Pressure, to me, is the greatest friend you have in life. It's your greatest ally. It forces you to work every minute of every hour of every day. It forces you to work up to your potential. And it gets you to get the message across to all the players that they are representing the greatest tradition in all of sports.
To do the honors on draft day. Pitino said all the right things today as the Celts prepare to move forward. It did seem more like a coronation than a news conference, but Pitino handled it with style.
Uncomfortable? No. I'm uncomfortable and humbled sitting below these banners, but I'm very excited to contribute to the raising of another one.
You know, Rick has been my choice all the way down the line. I never dreamed that we would get him.
Does the hiring of Rick Pitino then rejuvenate you in any way? Does it restart your engine even at your age?
You know, that's a good question, and the answer is yes, Bob. I think I feel good about it. I really do. He was my #1 choice of anybody in the country to take.
The year is 1997. The Boston Celtics, a 17-time NBA champion franchise, the golden standard of professional basketball, have officially hit rock bottom. Larry Bird is flown away into retirement. ML Carr has stepped down from the helm, and the team just wrapped up a 15-67 season, good enough for dead last in the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, one man sits rent-free in everyone's mind in the city. Nope, not that one. We'll get to him in a minute. Yep, that one. Wake Forest center Tim Duncan. Duncan had just finished his senior season with the Demon Deacons. He averaged a collegiate career best 20.8 points with 14.6 rebounds, making him the four-leaf clover coming out of the 1997 NBA draft class. There was just one problem. As Pitino would have put it, Duncan wasn't walking through that door anytime soon. You see, the Celtics had not one but 2 lottery picks in the 1997 draft. The plan? Plain and simple, land Tim Duncan, the generational big man. But the basketball gods had other ideas. Boston landed the 3rd and 6th picks on lottery night, despite having the highest odds of netting the #1 pick. Instead, Duncan went #1 of the San Antonio Spurs on draft night, and that was all she wrote. Plot soiled. With Duncan off the table, the Celtics drafted Chauncey Billups and Ron Mercer. One of those guys would be traded mid-season. Spoiler alert, it was the future NBA Finals MVP. As a coach and president, Pitino had full control, and he used it. He installed a high-pressure, college-style full-court press defense in the NBA. You know, the league where guys like Shaq exist?
Michael brings it across the timeline. He was looking for Dennis Rodman.
Veterans hated it. Rookies were confused. The roster was a revolving door, and Celtics culture was long gone. He traded away future stars like Billups and Joe Johnson, overpaid for role players like Travis Knight, and tried to make Antoine Walker the face of the franchise. In 1999, Pitino made one of his worst trades, sending a first-round pick to Denver that would eventually become Andre Miller. And his obsession with former Kentucky players, let's just say Walter McCarthy got way more minutes than he should have. The losing piled up, fans grew relentless, the media brutal, and then came the moment that defined the Pitino era. Let's rewind it one more time.
Larry Bird's not walking through that door, fans. Kevin McHale's not walking through that door, and Robert Parrish is not walking through that door. And if you expect them to walk through the door, they're going to be gray and old.
Yeah, he said that. Pitino sounded defeated, to say the least. The pressure had broken him. By January 2001, with a 12-22 record and no signs of progress, he resigned, just like that. No title, no banner, no accountability. Just like that, he was gone, leaving 6.5 years and $27 million left on the table in Boston. Pitino left Boston with a record of 102 and 146 over 3.5 seasons, with no playoff appearances and a countless number of bad trades. Just an overall legacy of chaos. But in a twist of irony, his resignation opened the door for general manager Chris Wallace and head coach Jim O'Brien, who along with a young Paul Pierce would start turning things around for the franchise.
Watch. His head is up. One dribble. Spots Pierce uncovered. Going back, filtering back through the middle, trying to pick up people that might be open for layup.
Rick Pitino will always be remembered as a college coaching legend. But in Boston, his name is a cautionary tale. A reminder that even the most brilliant minds can crash when given too much power and too little patience.